Hello, my beautiful earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It is wonderful to be here with you all this evening or whenever this may find you. Lovely ones, this is going to be a reading for specifically this, well, now heading into this weekend, this Halloween weekend. So I hope whenever this finds you, that you are embracing a spirit of play right now amidst all this death energy, Scorpio energy. But as much as specifically even Halloween is a call to the darkness within us on a lot of levels, it's also such a call to the child within and the fun within. So I'm going to do a pentacle spread for you here and just give you a focus in each of your elements, and then we'll close it off with a general guidance card for each of you. Please also just remember that although obviously this is specific to, or I'm filming this now, and remember that whenever you come across any message, trust that that is, or whenever you're drawn to any message, let me rather say, trust that that is the message that's meant to find you, regardless of the exact time. Take always what resonates for you and leave the rest. So, may you find whatever message you need here, precious ones. Okay. Gosh, earth signs. All right. Starting us off in our earth element, have guidance. Now, this speaks to needing to trust the inner self. And I mean, isn't that always? But really trust the inner self and trust the outer signs that you're getting. I feel like you are being given messages, but it's one thing to ask for messages, but it's also about being open to receive them. So particularly if you are needing guidance, remember to ask and equally to look for those messages. Remember that it comes in many forms, particularly with our angels in numbers, or I certainly notice them in numbers, but many other things. I mean, animals you may see, number plates driving. Just keep an eye out. The signs are there. And okay, then in our water space, we have aloneness. Now this equates to, in the tarot, the hermit. But what I like about this interpretation as opposed to that is this is really speaking to the connectedness within our aloneness and realizing in that moment of utter darkness that there is light. So earth signs, I don't know what's going on here. I feel like you're really having a bit of a time of it at the moment, to be honest. So even if you're not an earth sign and just coming across this, then particularly probably in your home space, there's a conflict happening here. There is a need for you to come back to yourself and really just focus on what gives you that inner light in your heart space. And remember that you're not alone. I feel like some of you are really going through a tough time, and I'm just sending you all my love. So in our airspace, in our mind space, have adventure. Now, this is about coming back to that childlike sense of wonder. So maybe if you're in this space, these two are essentially embarked on a very similar journey, but there's a completely different essence about them. The hermit, the man on his own, although it's also speaking to the absolute connectedness of everything, the all oneness of everything, he's hunched over, he's really focusing on, yes, the light within the darkness, but there's an overwhelming sense of the darkness with him, versus seeing the light, not just seeing the world in black and grey, and really approaching things with a childlike sense of wonder and awe. This is so critical to, I think, just keeping us, not just keeping us happy, but not getting stuck and also thinking that the world is always one way. If we approach it like a child, still with that sense of age and wisdom, but if you approach it like a child, there's always room for experience and there's always room for fun and color. So remembering that, particularly, yes, not getting too caught up in the mind space. And then down in our fire, air signs, earth signs, success. Now this is a gorgeous card. This tiger is literally on top of the world, and the figure is even more so. So truly, I think a celebration of the actions that you have been putting in, and it's difficult for earth signs, particularly. We like staying fixed and just like staying in one place, for goodness sake. But in the same breath, that constant turning I'm hearing also of the world, but that this is literally, this is for you, this is the earth, and I think a call to celebrate for yourself the strides that you have been making in the actions that you have been taking, and to keep striving towards them. What Osho particularly warns of here, although it is the on top of the world card, he reminds us that whenever you're on top of the world, there is the next stage coming. There's always the rise of the wave and the wake of the wave. There's eternally the duality. So I think this is a call to, particularly even if you can this weekend, take a moment to celebrate, to really suck in everything that has been going on, all the reasons that you have to celebrate, because you definitely have one. If you think you don't have one, goodness gracious, we have a roof over our head. There is always a reason to celebrate. So I feel like that is the call to you. Then our overall energies. Top of the deck, we have slowing down, and bottom of the deck, the Queen of Fire, Queen of Wands. Now I'm just being drawn to mostly the arrows. In fact, I think this is speaking to earth signs, a need to, sorry, I feel like this is every single reading, and not just mine, but every single reading I've seen in, honestly, the last couple of months. But it's an eternal message, and obviously it's a very prominent one now. But to focus inwardly on yourself, so that you have that stability, so that you have rootedness, and therefore a cup to give from. There's a need to focus and to really focus, again, just looking at these arrows, and hone in on yourself. try and give yourself that break if you possibly can. And it is difficult. Lives are busy. There are always things happening, but really a call to try and give yourself that time. Try and sit by some water and just do la dolce fa niente, the absolute sweetness of nothing. There's such a value in it, and we forget that. So interesting that that's also the top energy being supported by this ultimate Queen of Fire. I think it's again that call to duality. Remember that what ultimately drives you is the relaxation. The relaxation is what gives you fire, if that makes sense, and gives you something to give to others. So, lovely earth signs. Whoopa! I'm going to take that as my Taurus. First out the gate. I picked for the other ones, but clearly this is how this wants to happen. Okay. Alrighty. Taurus, Virgo, Kathy, gracious. Okay. Taurus, the Lovers. This is one of only 2 cards that Osho's kept the original tarot names of. So I feel like that's just prevalent. Oh, and seeing as it's the first time it's flipped out, that is one of the symbols I have on myself. So this is really reminding us of the divine balancing. And Taurus, I think the coming back to, yes, your heart space, and maybe this is speaking to some of you of a new love coming in literally, but also again, just the fact that they're looking at each other, mirroring each other with the star seed in the center, that looking at yourself, looking internally, the coming to yourself, is the coming to another, if that's what you're looking for. But it all starts with that inward reflection. That was the one. My Virgos. Postponement. Now, I think what this is speaking to for you is remembering to not see things so much in that black and gray. Like we were saying, all the cards, like we were saying with these, it's a very similar energy, it's similar lessons, but trying to remember to see things in color and see the fun and the play within things. It doesn't have to be so, energy doesn't have to be so harsh. We can learn our lessons more lightly. So I think it's a call to just really focus in on any elements where you can have fun, because that brings you into the moment and brings you into the color of your life. And then my Cappies. Morality, Queen of Clouds or Queen of Swords in tarot. Now again, she's a queen. She's in complete control. She's at the top of her game. But what morality warns us of is coming to the end game through too harsh a means. Again, remember that it doesn't have to be black and gray. It doesn't have to be such a harsh energy. You can come to things. You can face yourself lightly and boldly and bravely. And that doesn't have to mean looking at yourself or clamping down on yourself. It can be done with a lighter energy. So earth signs, I think just to remember that and Be gentle on yourselves. Be playful with yourselves. And try and particularly embrace it this Halloween. I really hope for you all that you dress up and have a ball. Even if you're home alone, dress up, because why the hell not? So, sending you all my love. Thank you for being here, and bless you.